Minister Amichai Chikli, it's great to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much.
It's good to be here, Yaakov. Toda. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. So there's a lot to talk about. We're meeting on Thursday. We don't really know yet what's going to happen with Iran. We don't know yet what President Trump is going to do, if he is going to do something, and then what would the Iranians do in response. So there's a lot of what ifs and unknown. With that said, I know that you have some strong opinions, obviously, on what we've been seeing happening on the streets of Tehran and other cities across the country. And just last night, you posted on Twitter, which I thought was very powerful, this image that we're seeing all over the world started with Iranian protesters, but we've seen also politicians in America and elsewhere. Photo of Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader, a cigarette. You stressed to me that you don't smoke.
I don't.
Which is important. So no endorsement of tobacco, but burning that photo, which I guess I could interpret that as saying Amichai Chikli, Israel's Minister of Diaspora Affairs, is in favor of regime change in Iran.
Absolutely. Yes, I think that we are in a pivotal moment in history, and it's an opportunity that I don't think that we're going to have another opportunity. I think we have failed Western civilization, failed the previous protest, Masha Amini, not to mention the Green Revolution with Obama. So now, yes, we have very powerful words, and I'm a man of words, and I think that the words are important, and the declaration that were made by President Trump are super meaningful and powerful. But it's also needs to be said that I'm not sure that it will be enough, because this is not Venezuela. This is a powerful regime with the Iranian Revolutionary Guards. And we're speaking about people who doesn't have an army.
Right.
They doesn't have the tools to by protest to go and take down the regime. They need the support. They need the support of the West. And I think that words are not enough. And I think that if we will accomplish the goal of bringing down this regime, the outcomes and the impact would be immense. It would be immense in Latin America, in Lebanon, in Yemen, all across the region. And this is something which is very, very important. And I hope that we'll see actions.
You know, I know that you have ties on the right, definitely in the United States and within the MAGA community or MAGA circles. There are people there who will tell us, I'm guessing, and I've heard this even from Steve Bannon, for example, who has said, look, what happened in the 12-day war in June was Israel dragging America into a war. There are people within those circles who, and we're hearing reports, for example, J.D. Vance, the vice president, is not enthusiastic of American military intervention. Now, we don't know yet, obviously, what will happen, if anything will happen, so I'll keep on caveating that. But what would your argument be to these people who say, well, you know, America, because you're saying we need action, but America shouldn't get involved. This isn't our problem. What would you respond to those people?
First, it's very different from the 12 Days War. The 12 Days War was a war between Israel and Iran. Here, that's a totally different situation. Here, what we have is people fighting for their freedom against a tyranny, a dictatorship, a brutal dictatorship that is spreading violence and terror even to the Americas. So if you're claiming that Venezuela is important and changing the regime, actually, it's not really changing the regime in Venezuela, because we had election and the election was stolen by Maduro. So it's not like he was somehow elected in any normal or democratic process. That's not the case. But if you're saying that what's happening in Latin America impacts America, if you're saying that you are against these drugs deals, beware that Iran and Hezbollah and all these ecosystem of money, of terror and drugs, this is super, super relevant. And it's far beyond the borders of the Middle East. This is far beyond just the issue of Israel and Iran. When you look at the world, there is no vacuum.
Right.
So you can say, okay, it's none of my business. So you will have Iran as a superpower. And we know that Iran Take a look at Ukraine. Where those the drones that are landing on Kiev are coming from?
Iran.
They are coming from Iran. So to look at the world in a segregated dimension, that there is no connection between what's happening in Iran and what's happening in Kiev, or even Taiwan, or even Venezuela, everything is connected. Mm-hmm. Everything is connected.
And therefore, America would need to step up in this case.
Yeah, look, you can say we don't want America to be a superpower. That's an argument that you can say, mm-hmm. and that's all other discussion.
Right.
But if you want to have America as a superpower,
then it has to play that role.
So you need to be in the game.
Right. So
now, I'm not saying for America what they should do.
That's for America.
That's for America to decide.
Right. Right.
I would say that as a fan of Western civilization, of the idea of freedom, of the sacred of human life, I think America has a very crucial role to play in worldwide, and therefore that's how I see it. Like, I have expectations from America because I see America as an idea, not just as a state. But that's how I look at America, as a beacon of light, of freedom. But America can choose not to be this kind of a superpower, and it's for the Americans to decide.
But something that you said there about how complicated it is to achieve a regime change. It's not something that you just snap a finger.
Absolutely.
They don't have the military force. I mean, you'll like this one, but you probably remember this, 2011 or 2012, Ehud Barak, who was then the defense minister, said Assad will fall within 6 months.
Yeah, mamash.
Right. I know you like Ehud Barak. No, I'm kidding. And Assad then stays in office for 12 years, mm-hmm. right? Now, this was Barak when he was defense minister with intelligence and mm-hmm. the most classified information. So as someone explained to me on Iran in America, it could take a day and it could take 10 years, right? No one knows exactly how quickly this will go.
Absolutely.
What do you think the Iranian people want from the world right now? Beyond keep fighting, keep going out to the streets.
So first, I think that leaders needs to speak out. And that's why I emphasize that the statements made by President Trump are super important. And especially after Venezuela and after what we saw in Fordo, obviously.
Right.
So the words of Trump, they have a weight, mm-hmm. a heavy weight. And so I do agree that it makes sense that before you take an action, we can try and let the words make an impact. But I think so. We want leaders to speak up. I haven't heard the EU speaks up. I haven't heard the UN speaks. I haven't heard Amnesty even saying the word Iran.